Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chorizo Bros. This is Joseph back at it again. I am back with Michaela. Glad to have you back.
Hi.
You helped us out on our Rosemary's Baby one.
Yeah.
That was really fun. I had a great time. Hope you did.
I
also.
did.
And we have a brand new Chorizo Sis.
That's me.
This is Shelby Blue. We are here to talk about a controversial novel. Scary, weird, unusual book. Tender is the Flesh. We're going to start this off the way we normally do, guys. We're going to each give our 5-star review, about 30 seconds each on those. And then after that, we're going to go knee deep into spoilers and have a discussion as though all of you out there have seen the movie. Have read the book. We don't want to spoil it for you. So who wants to start us up? I'll go last.
Yeah, I'll go. I give this book 5 stars. It's one of my favorite books, honestly. I love this book. I think it's like shocking and overt, and like it's not really that hard to get the whole main theme of it, but there are still so many tiny little points that she puts in there. There's so much nuance that happens there that is more than just the obvious big like criticism of capitalism and whatnot. And for that reason, yeah, I think it's complex, it's beautifully written, one of my favorite pieces of literature I've ever read.
Shelby?
That is some really high praise. I'm not going to praise it that high. I'm going to sit at a solid like 3.8 out of 5.
That's still good.
Maybe some of it was lost in translation because it is a translated novel.
That's right. Yeah.
So maybe I went in expecting a little bit more vegan propaganda than I got, because it wasn't really about what I felt like veganism is about. When I kind of went into it, I thought I was expecting that, and that's not how it turned out, which just surprised me. But as a horror novel, I think it's a great novel.
I think I'm right there with you. I'm gonna rate it kind of low with a caveat. So I'm gonna probably land at like a 2.5 as literature, because I don't think I missed the themes very much, but compared to great criticisms of capitalism like Grapes of Wrath or 1984 or Brave New World or whatever, this falls pretty short. But the caveat of that is, as a horror novel, this is like a vegan's nightmare to me. This is
Absolutely.
like, yeah. So that, it's a 5 out of 5. I'm like, okay, just reading it as like a piece of entertainment that's disturbing, it hits all the right notes for that.
Yes.
So I think that if that's all this is trying to be, then it's perfect. If we try to extrapolate a little bit more from it, I don't feel like there's much under the surface, but that's my personal opinion.
I actually agree with that quite a bit.
Yeah.
I actually don't think it's as layered as it's expected to be, right?
As it's trying to be, it seems like.
As it's trying to be. Now, I had heard about this book quite a bit because I'm involved in the vegan community. So I had heard about it a lot before actually ever reading it. And I think that set up some expectations for me, which were not met, which can be kind of like a crappy thing as well when you read a book, is expecting something and not getting what you expect, right? But it was a good statement on capitalism, I think, in general, and what humanity will lower itself to for pleasure at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. I want to hear kind of your thought on why it was rated as high.
Yeah, I mean, this book gets a lot of hate. And for the same reasons you guys are saying, like, it's trying too hard, or, you know, it's trying too hard and not delivering enough kind of thing. Yes. But when you take it for, like you said, a combination of just like a generally shocking horror novel combined with the criticisms that it makes, combined with just the general, like, I think character arc, anti-character arc that you see your
a subversion
that you see
of
your,
a character arc.
You see your main character go through. This is one of the few books that I have ever read where, like, especially the ending, I dropped the book.
I was
like,
I was shocked.
Floored.
The first time I read it, I was real shocked.
Which is really nice, because you, with a lot of these criticisms, especially like sci-fi, you're known for like the before and after effect. So you're always seeing some sort of change in society, or some sort of like, this is the way the world is now. There's some hero that fixes it and it ends it.
Happy endings.
Right.
Yeah.
Or maybe even not a happy ending, just a change.
Resolution.
And in this novel, you don't see a change in the world at all. Like, everything continues the way it is before. You see, maybe not a change, because he doesn't... Maybe he changes for the worst, but it's not really a change. It's who he was from the start.
Right. That's kind of... Maybe that's where it's lacking. I feel like if it started off with... his name's Marco or Marcos?
Marcos.
If he had started off maybe with a little bit more thought, because we're in his perspective a lot. If we had a little bit more of his thoughts at the beginning, thinking, "Oh, I'm not like them," and if it leaned into that towards the beginning, and then we saw that, oh, he's really not like that. His actions don't speak to that. That would have been more effective. Or I would have liked that the protagonist changed, because it does feel like, because I read it 2 times. I read it a long time ago, and then I read it recently for this.
Yeah.
And I was like, he doesn't seem like a good guy at all, ever. You don't ever, now that I mean, it's not just because I know, but it's like the writing style, you don't feel like it's a Winston Smith from 1984, where he is interested in fighting the power or whatever.
Yeah. He's not striving for any kind of change. He's just trying to make it through his life, right? And just... He seems unhappy with the changes of cannibalism, but he doesn't seem like he wants it to change. I mean...
But isn't that really, all we're doing in these, atrocities, and the way, humanity has degraded? Most of us are just inwardly thinking, this is wrong, and we're having these discussions. But at the end of the day, you're just trying to get through your life. You're just trying to deal with your son dying or your wife leaving you, and that's part of the beauty of it is, and part of the point is how quickly and easily this new lifestyle was normalized, to the point to where your heroes are people who all they can really do is think it's wrong. And that's a pessimistic view on it. We should strive for change.
Yeah.
But the human aspect of it is that most of us are really just trying to make small changes in our lives, which is kind of what he's doing. But I think he's drowning in grief. And you only see him in that period where he is struggling through this grief and he's lost in his own life. You catch him at a time where he's not really capable of doing much.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a response to the despair he's going through? It's a response to what's happening with his dad and the fact that his wife left? Or is it an overall, the world sucks and that's why? Because I don't think he cares that much about what's going on with his dad.
I think he maybe...
Because he goes to the zoo with the pretext that he's going because it reminds him of where his dad used to take him. But is he lamenting for the time before, and it has less to do with his relationship with his father? I mean, I don't know.
I don't think so. I think it has everything to do with his relationship with his father.
You think so?
I honestly think the main character could not give a shit less whether he was killing animals or humans. I think from the beginning towards the end, I don't think his motive ever changed. I think the novel is mostly about grief. I don't actually think it's that much about other stuff. I think it's about a man dealing with his grief and what we do to survive every single day, and the ends we will get to have what we want, which what he wanted was his son back.
Absolutely. He wanted to not be alone.
Yeah. He wanted to not be alone. Yeah.
From his father to his wife to his son,
his sister,
to the woman that he keeps
to
locked
his
up in his
kids.
barn.
Yeah.
He's just wanting to not be alone.
He's looking for some type of connection, I think, that he's not able to find, which may be because the entire world shut off from connection because they're killing each other for food. I mean, maybe that's something that it's speaking on as well.
Absolutely. But if you're going to tell that story about grief, the backdrop of this extreme, gory slaughterhouse that you can almost smell is that gets lost in the sauce as you're reading it, because it's trying to gross you out, and it's not just about the gore of it, but just about humanity, that you can't... I didn't feel anything for Marco.
No.
At all. I was again, I don't know, maybe it's just because I read it twice.
I think
reading it twice really does change your
it.
view on him, because
Right.
the first time you do kind of hope, you're expecting a hero.
Oh, he's falling in love with
You're
Jasmine.
expecting
He
a
wants
hero.
to save
He's
her.
going to do something.
Yeah, you're expecting a hero.
The second time you read it, you do pick up on all of his like apathetic kind of attitudes towards it. And just the way he.
Well, because if he's like grieving and not wanting to be alone, that he still does, like, the way it's like thought about, with the way she's thought about is still like a responsibility he doesn't want.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
like an animal.
That's weird to be like, oh well, you know, there wasn't that, you know, thing of him almost immediately going like, oh no, I like feel bad for it.
Even in the middle of the book when he finally decides to like sleep with her, like I was very taken aback by all that. Ooh. Because he really wasn't, in my opinion, showing any kind of want towards her. Like he was like very much like, I want nothing to do with this kind of thing. So whenever that all happened after he came back from his sisters, right?
Mm-hmm. He's angry.
He's facing trauma. I don't think at any point he ever actually cared about the head.
No, it's bottom line, it's sexual assault.
Yeah.
And it didn't read that way as much the first time.
Yeah.
But it is very, like, it's a very violent scene. The way he, like, is outside and undressed and in the rain. It's very primal. Rain. It's animal.
Yes. It's animalistic, for sure. 100%.
It was the thing that makes you kind of, I don't know, he starts to, like, keep her in his bed, which sort of humanizes him and makes it feel real.
Even when he lets her out to, like, watch TV with him and stuff.
Right.
Like, the little things like that, you're like, oh, he's treating her as if he cares for her. Mm-hmm. But really, at the end of the day, he's just caring for what's growing inside of her. And even barely then.
Those things really help the baby. Like, when you're taking care of a pregnant animal, you don't let it sleep in your bed and watch TV with you because it's good for the baby.
It's humanizing it, though. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, that's what's coming down to, is he knows in his heart of hearts she's a human, and he's trying to treat her as such, but in reality, he doesn't view her like that, maybe.
For sure.
I mean...
I don't disagree, I do.
It's like a dissonance thing. Like, it's just very, like, he's not seeing it that way, I feel like, right?
I don't believe he loves her. No. Bottom line.
Like, I think a lot of people...
He's not falling in love.
I saw some, like, reviews or people talking about this book where that's something that people, like, think when they read it. Like, oh, he's, like, falling in love with her and then he did that to her or whatever. I was like, I didn't think it was love. Mm-mm. You know, I thought maybe it was... It was, if he can humanize her a little bit, then maybe there's a vulnerability in this system.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of, if that's all it had to be, then that would have been fine. Love was a hair too much. Mm-hmm. Because if you humanize them a little bit, then he can't be the only one.
Yeah. Right.
Right? And yeah, I don't know. Again, it's confusing a little bit as far as like how... I don't know what she's trying to make me feel.
Well, and that's another thing I'd actually like to talk about too, because I previously went into this book thinking that the author was vegan, but she is not. She's barely vegetarian, and she also outrightly said she doesn't want people thinking about that when they're reading the book. It's not what she's trying to say, which I think is very interesting, because to say it's not about something like that when it is so clearly about, you know, factory farming and the way we're able to separate ourselves from murder. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is, whether it's, you know, humane or not, whatever you want to call it, you're still murdering. And how quickly it changes to them doing it to humans, I think it just, to me, in my little vegan brain, it just feels as if that's exactly what she's saying. Like, look how quickly we would turn on our own, you know, like, why are we doing this kind of thing? But it was pretty disappointing to find out that she wasn't even vegan at all. So,
well, you said that when you read it, you felt like it was gonna hit that part, and it missed.
And it didn't, yeah.
Then you find out that did you find out that she wasn't before or after?
After. Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
A little.
I was a little shocked by that information. Exactly. Yeah. But it's hard to be vegan.
But you can write a character that isn't like you.
The parallels between like veganism in the food industry and then capitalism and generally like they're already so closely linked.
Very
so
closely tied.
A general criticism of capitalism sounds like that. Like we even use when we talk about greed and we talk about money, we use words like hunger and like feeding and greed and gluttony and all of those things are very closely linked to eating.
Yeah, it's 100% true.
So it's very easy to link those things.
To tell a story that way.
And when I talked about like my rating and as far as like layers, that's part of what I mean is that it seems like it's vegan propaganda.
Yeah.
Or just like a criticism on capitalism, but it's so much more. It's about the power of words and like the power of how we normalize things. Yeah, the power of words and how we feed into these things, how easy it is to convince a mass of people. Mm-hmm. And then it turns into, we've talked a lot about grief. It's got these layers of grief and these layers of like yearning for a past that will never be again, which is something we can all really closely link to.
Absolutely.
One of the things that I found super interesting was that Costa Rica, she referred to, the book was published in what, like 2017?
I think the English translation happened in 2017.
Somewhere around that area. But there's a quote from her where she refers to this era as the generation of the virus, which
spooky.
is
like right
spooky
now.
and
Yeah.
crazy. It was right before the pandemic and it's right before like all of these big events and like the way we view those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So
the fact that what really got me was that there's that conversation of, well, they're telling us the animals are unsafe, but
Oh, that whole conversation. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
very interesting.
I was like, whoa.
Because once again, I mean, that's actually currently happening right now. I mean, so veganism was an extremely popular fad at the beginning of 2020, end of 2019. 2019 was, like, I would say the height of vegan culture, right? There was vegan restaurants popping up left and right. There was vegan brands everywhere. But in the last 3, 4, 5 years, there has been an intense
like pendulum swing.
A smear campaign, I guess. Yeah, sure. A pendulum swing for sure. It's definitely going the other direction just in general for society. But I mean, from these animal agriculture companies, from the dairy industry, I mean, they are very much like all the way down to seed oils are bad. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a smear right now on, you know, oh, well, why are you eating soy protein when you can eat it from an animal? Like, that's less processed. Like, when in fact you're mostly eating Cheetos. So like, why are you worrying about processed food? You know what I mean? Just eat the soy protein and save the animal's life kind of thing, right? So it's like it's crazy because I feel like
You feel like that's what the lie was alluding to?
yeah, I feel like it's so easy to convince people like, hey, no, this is unhealthy for you, when the facts on the table are that, like, you know, this is actually the healthier way, the healthier diet, the more sustainable way for the planet. But you have people with money, capitalism, who are actively making sure that doesn't come about, right? Are actively making sure that these options aren't available anymore, actively buying out vegan companies so they go out of business. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting thing because I think it's very, very, very easy to convince the general public of anything, which is horrifying. I mean, we see it every day, right?
Well, yeah, it's like what took us out of World War II, or what took us out of the Depression was World War II.
And it just gets worse.
It was taking this time that was maybe financially really bad for everybody and going, well, we're manufacturing weapons, and that's good overall, isn't it? The mechanics of the country
money.
are still spinning, yeah.
People aren't starving anymore, you know, which is great, but at what cost?
But it just, I don't know, it hit hard. It hit hard when I read it and thought, like, the mask thing, and, you know, with the virus and like this thing, thinking that whatever information you have is the wrong thing. And then going, you know, doesn't his sister say, like, come inside, you don't have an umbrella? That's crazy, because they don't want the...
Oh my God, for the birds.
They don't want the birds to poop on them or whatever. And it was like, you're not...
They couldn't get rid of all the birds.
Well, so like, I was
That's
trying
also
to...
such an interesting thing.
I wanted to wrap my head around what was going on there. But the idea that, like, he's just as unsure as anyone else are they lying or are they not? And there is so much wrapped up in this is how the economy is going to stay. Yeah. So we got to keep that going, right? But yeah, I was like, what did you guys feel? That's a good question. How did you guys feel about, do you think the government was lying about it in the book?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's an overpopulation thing. I've actually thought about it a little bit. I think it's like a control the masses more kind of thing. There's too much population. It can't be survived. So they were like, let's cull. They were like, how can we cull people?
Well, by
eating them.
They keep talking
how can we explain it?
They keep talking about how like hot it is. I remember that. That's clearly a global warming illusion.
Yeah.
They keep talking about, it's sweltering.
That's true.
And again, it was on the second reread that I noticed it.
Because it was Argentina.
So
I just figured too that it was just a warm place or something. Yeah,
well, maybe.
But also,
maybe I have American eyes looking at it, so maybe it was for me going.
But also, if you're used to living in a warm place, maybe you wouldn't refer to it as warm all the time. Yeah, so like maybe commenting on the weather.
So it's unusually warm. Yeah. So there's again that like not just the economy but the ecology, like it's all, and maybe that's what I mean is like it's none of it goes too deep. It's all kind of like, oh well, there's a commentary on obviously diet, there's a commentary on the way that animals are treated, and there's a commentary on the government is lying to you. There's not like real focus on one of those things and fleshing that out. And again, as a nightmare, as a imagine walking with this guy and talking to the people at the tannery and going to the scientists and seeing how they're mistreating the people and it doesn't sound like the scientist is really doing anything worthwhile, just abusing them. I don't know. That's what it felt like. So going along on this little trip, it's almost like a roller coaster. You're almost seeing like, oh, that's gross. I feel gross about that. And like, that's effective, which is why there was that caveat of like, okay, but as far as like, wanting to examine like what is it saying about the world, that stuff fell really flat for me.
It leaves a lot of room
for interpretation
to think.
Yeah.
Yes. And it leaves a lot of room to speculate. It's a very, which I think was kind of intentional. Like it focused so heavily on the gore and just the shock of it, so that there's so much empty space left to think and talk about all these tiny points and like what's going on. And when you read it multiple times, you can dissect tiny little details and these little lines and the way they talk, and it leaves you feeling confused.
Yeah. At a loss.
And I think it's intentional.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I think you're meant to feel confused.
It's supposed to
it's
feel
so
wacky
dystopian and so like,
I mean, I think describing it as a nightmare is like a really great way to describe it.
It's a fever dream.
It does feel like a fever dream of sorts.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the feeling I got.
It's disarming.
You know, there's like that. There's a commentary on the iPad kid too, a little bit with the twins. It's not specifically with iPads, but it's the idea that the kids behave in a way that we don't. That feels weird to me when he's interacting with his niece and nephew, and they kind of talk to him a certain way, and he's like, ew.
Well, they would
creeped out by it.
Those kids would be the first generation that grew up without knowing what the world was like before.
Right.
Exactly.
Which is our criticism
like
of the iPad kid.
Internet. Yeah.
It's
kid growing up with internet.
It's these kids growing up in a world that that's just has so much more than what we're familiar with or comfortable with.
Yeah.
And they're little shitheads, if I remember.
Oh, yeah, they're terrible. They're creepy. They're like the twins from The Shining.
Horrible. I mean, they're immediately like, what do you think he would taste like kind of thing, right? I mean, that was like one of the first things they said.
They're playing the game, which is, they call the game Exquisite Corpse, which is actually what the book is originally titled as.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
The book cover of the original looks fucking cooler than this one, too.
Yeah.
Really?
The top part actually looks like a
Actually,
a bull or whatever.
Yeah, I don't really like the cover of the book that much.
It's kind of minimalist.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's okay.
The title was changed in translation. It's actually a reference to F. Scott Fitzgerald's Tender is the Night, which is another very popular novel that focuses on criticism of like the wealthy and capitalism.
Right.
And it talks about how the wealthy go insane from basically just their lifestyle and how out of touch they are, which is an interesting tribute.
Yeah, no, it's nice. If that's indeed what it is, and it definitely sounds like that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fitzgerald is a good go-to for criticizing the rich. I'm not gonna lie though. What's his most famous one called again? With the death car?
Gatsby, isn't it?
Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
With the death car?
Yeah, doesn't he run over? Don't they run over a lady?
Oh,
They do kill someone in a car, yeah.
That's just like a...
That's a weird
okay.
way.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
I mean,
the
Death
You know-
Car,
okay,
I think,
no,
like,
you know
what's
what it
the
is?
Stephen King novel that
No,
has the killer car? Like,
No, you know what? You know why I always look at it as the death car is a quiz I took for like English class where it was like who drove the death car.
I thought you were going to say like a BuzzFeed quiz.
No,
The murder
when I was in
car.
school. Yeah, it was because I think it was like maybe middle school, and they were testing our reading comprehension, and I remember one of the questions was who drives the death car. So in my head, I always equate Great Gatsby,
Great
to
Gatsby
death car.
to the death car. That's interesting.
Yeah, but that one. Have you read Great Gatsby recently?
Yeah, I love The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
Too. I honestly love criticisms on capitalism, but
Because capitalism is terrible.
capitalism, it's terrible and also theoretically so wonderful. It's
Theoretically, it's funny.
theoretically
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, getting ruled by anyone is terrible.
It's a
It's
crazy
like, would you
concept.
rather, I mean, you could go back and forth on these conversations because it just depends on what the state of it depends on what the state of things is. Because if you need a Leviathan, like Thomas Hobbes shit, to like come in and make everything even again, that can work, but that doesn't work long term. Free market capitalism doesn't work long term.
No, it's a
Authoritarian governments don't work that long. So
It's extremism that we put in practice.
Well, it's just because there's not a right way to. You can't like make human nature into like a graph. You can't it doesn't work. We're too chaotic. Yeah, we're too chaotic to like. Nothing will ever work correctly on a long enough timeline. So.
That's why every great civilization falls, right? I mean...
Or it morphs.
the importance on words in this novel, like the way they play it. I think one of the, like, it doesn't outwardly say it in the novel, or it might. The way that we say beef and veal instead of
Cow and
calf
Cow
when we
and
talk
baby
about
cow.
meat. Like you're changing the words and like how easily that is, how easily it is to morph someone's opinion and the way they view things just by changing the language you use. And when Marcos describes other characters, he uses very emotional language. He narrates the way they speak. Like he's talking about, I think it's the foreman. It's either the foreman or the owner of the factory. I forget who he's talking about, but he says something about a man, and he talks about how his words are empty and how his words are like befitting of a different man. And then he does the same thing with his sister, where he talks about how her words are empty and the language that she uses does not reflect who she actually is. And I think that's really interesting because it's repeated over and over again, this importance on language and words. It loops back to like the brainwashing that's happening.
Absolutely, because, I mean, use the right words. Words sound fine if they're said correctly. You know, it's easy to confuse somebody if you immediately start calling the girl's head. You're planning on eating them, you know, I mean.
Well, that thing of the words being different is in regards to the meat is alluding to another class thing, because that's why it's called beef and not cow when you're referring to the meat itself. It's because if you could afford, in like peasant times, if you could afford it, it was called beef because you didn't slaughter the animal, you didn't touch it, you didn't need to be near it.
Wow,
you just got the end product. Yeah. So that's why like poultry and like that's why they have the different.
It's like an elevated version.
It's
of what you're
a
receiving.
class thing, because the peasant wouldn't call it poultry. You're like, get a
They
chicken
just
in
kill
here.
the chicken and
Yeah. So I think it's also like language, not necessarily the words, but like the difference between French and English kind of thing too. So I remember hearing that and equating that to like kind of the story also, where it's again another class discussion or idea where it's like we call them that because it's easier than calling them what they are, prisoners and
Absolutely.
whatever.
I wish they had elaborated on a lot more in the story, like things like the blood business and stuff. I was like very interested. Exactly. It was very slowly. It was mentioned at the beginning of the book, and I was expecting them to elaborate on it more because they're like, "Oh, the blood business is illegal." And I'm like, "Who's drinking blood though?" Like, it's a very interesting thing. But they were taking the blood of the pregnant women, which theoretically would be probably used for like medicine and stuff, because I would assume
Something
like,
hormonal.
exactly. You know, well, also like doesn't that like fetal stuff cure
Stem cells?
stem cells? Thank you, I appreciate you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I can't tell if that was sarcasm or
no,
not.
I actually really do, because I was struggling to find it. So like, don't they use stem cells for like cancer research and stuff like that? So it made me wonder if there was like an illegal blood trade for like
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's
medicinal stuff for like the rich, right? Like
Well, they-
Stay
stuff
young
like
forever. Yeah.
They talk
Exactly.
about this like forbidden lab where like all the
With
all
the
the
crazy
science
lady?
is done
Yeah.
with the crazy lady, but like it's kind of, at least I assumed that that's what they mean by a lab. Like it's meant to be researching things like that,
Right.
Which means that there are like governmental regulations on the study of like stem cells and what that would be the blood business. So only people who are licensed to do that would be able to, which is still just a matter of control.
Yeah.
It's it's the same way that you can't perform that kind of research now without grants and permits and like special permissions and things like that.
right.
So that's what I'm assuming they meant by the blood business. Was just something that wasn't government sanctioned, was not considered legitimate.
And you got to think that's what, like, anything that's regulated is being done somewhere illegally unregulated.
Right.
Let's actually talk for a second about how they were drinking the dairy of human women, because that's a really gross. I don't know.
It's
Y'all
funny that you
never
say, it's funny
known
that you say that,
anyone-
because that
Has anyone-
that should be the most natural.
Bro.
It's right. Right. Just
Do you
'cause
know
it's
what
the-
human dairy milk tastes like?
No. Well, actually,
Bad.
yes.
Bad. It's not good.
Do you remember it?
No, but there's something in me that remembers.
Yeah,
There's
there's a
something
part
in
of
me
you
that
that remembers.
We all know what it tastes like.
Weirdo.
When my
That's gonna-
sister had her baby, she tasted
Not
it,
actively.
and from her, she said it was bad. It's like sour.
But
It's
do you know
not-
what cow's milk tastes like
Before
before
they
you
do
treat
stuff
it?
to it?
Yeah,
Good point,
It's
actually.
not good either.
Great
Oh,
point.
just
I
straight
don't.
from
It's
the-
very.
I've never personally
It's
been interested to find
It's
out.
Pappy, aim it at me.
I've seen some videos, you guys.
very sweet,
Yeah.
very fatty. it's
Yeah, it's probably. Yeah, I can't imagine it's very good.
not fantastic. People
Yeah.
drink it, but
See, but that's the thing. It's like, not that I'm not advocating for anybody drinking it on a commercial level or anything, but like the concept of it philosophically is like, well, it makes more sense to drink it from a human than it does to drink it from a cow.
Absolutely, but the thing with
Philosophically, I said.
milk is nobody's supposed to drink it after infant age.
Sure. But I mean,
That's
in
the
terms
whole
of
point of
it being
milk.
more appropriate.
other animals do not drink milk at a grown age.
No, yeah.
Animals will eat anything.
That's true.
There is no.
But you don't find,
In
or maybe
nature.
you do, I'm not sure, but you don't find an
Well,
adult
okay,
cow
that's a-
suckling
that's a
off
good-
of a...
In
That's a
nature,
good,
you will
um,
never find a cow or any other animal drinking the milk as an adult. of
Doesn't that
any other
happen in
animal.
another Steinbeck novel? Is that Grapes of Wrath where the old man drinks from ladies?
I'm
That's
uncultured.
I think it's Grapes of Wrath. I think it is. Where that happens,
I'm not
where the old
sure.
man is drinking from because he's starving, and then
Yeah.
the lady
Okay.
feeds him that way.
I mean, sure, if you're starving to death, like
Well,
do what
it's
you
just-
do what
well,
you
okay,
have to
it's,
do.
Right,
Kind
it's a
of
story.
thing.
I'm just
You know
saying,
what I
like, oh,
mean?
we were like
Like-
alluding to Steinbeck writing, a critique on capitalism, and it kind of I'm just connecting the two.
No,
That's
true.
all. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying. I'm not,
no,
I'm
100%.
not saying
I'm just saying, I'm not crazy. Like, if you're
surviving.
gonna die,
Surviving is
like,
surviving.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and this is where I come to where we talk about like what's natural and what's not natural. everything that we've ever done is natural because we are a product of nature. This is what happened. There wasn't anything like bending the rules for us. We made this. This is a product of our nature, and we are a product of nature. So
Is
everything,
a great way to look at it.
everything. No, I mean, I'm just saying everything is like for that criticism about us. Oh, it's so unnatural. Well, we made it that way.
But that argument means that like anything that doesn't literally bend the laws of physics and nature is
So
natural.
everything but magic.
Which is that's
Well, yeah,
a really broad term and not really
So
what
if-
is meant.
If
when
only
we say
one human
something's
does it, is it
natural.
still natural?
yeah, because it's depending on what the topic is and how they mean it when they say, "Oh, that's not natural." Well, murder is natural. Violence is natural. War is natural. As much as we don't. Again, I'm not advocating for it. You guys are
Right.
looking at it
No,
like I'm somehow in defense of it.
For one, I was looking down at the table thinking. I wasn't even looking at
Okay.
you, sir.
I'm just saying because that's like where it goes. It's like
I'm just saying that the view on that is reductive and leads you to like not actually.
well, what do you consider natural and not natural? Where does the line stop? Is living in a home natural?
No.
Shelter, I guess, can
And
be
when does
considered
it
natural.
stop being natural?
Exactly. Where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
I 100% see what you're saying. And yeah, I do think violence.
And I'm not saying I subscribe to that. I'm just saying
No, I know. You're
Yeah.
not murdering people.
the argument
Crazy.
the argument of why do you get to deem what's natural and what isn't? Not you. Just
It's subjective.
yeah.
It is
like,
absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Almost everything in life is, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we could argue around all day. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean,
like farming's not natural.
natural versus unnatural versus
If you're gonna be reductive about it.
natural versus unnatural versus what's better for humanity, I think is where the line needs to be like drawn.
Sure, but
sure. Yeah.
Who decides what's better?
A council. But actually I don't think this is where
Do they let me?
Are
Am I
we-
in the room when this happens? Do I get a say in what's best for humanity?
ideally there would be a voting situation, but I mean, unfortunately, Joseph, I wish I had the answers for capitalism, but I thought we were talking about a book, not how to fix the world.
No, we're having a discussion about
How do we fix the world?
what we think, and that's the kind of question that this book is.
That's true.
It's
don't
kind of
think-
leading you to look at.
Anyone knows how to.
But
You could say that anything that doesn't, because like the whole point of being here is reproduction, right? Like carrying on our species.
Right.
That's pretty much the only reason we're alive, which sounds
Your drive ends
terrible. And
there.
there's lots of like big, lovely theoretical reasons for being here, but really, instinctually, our reason for being here is to procreate. So anything that doesn't further our survival as a human species would be unnatural.
Well, it depends.
But even that doesn't
It
work.
depends.
so theoretically,
me,
eating animal-based products which kill us is unnatural by what you just said.
I don't know
learning
if
how
they
to
kill us.
learning how well it depends on like again right now the way it's like being commercialized and processed, but in terms of survival, learning how to preserve milk for cheese so that you had something to eat over winter
Absolutely.
and surviving. I'm gonna pause it there to get that. You argue it's not good for you overall, but at some point it was better than starving.
No, I do agree with that. I think animal-based products are the only reason we've survived as a society to be where we are today. I mean, isn't that how we got smart in the first place? They started eating omega-3s in the ocean or something, and it changed our brain chemistry. Isn't that what Neanderthals did? Or it's like one of the theories, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, we killed all the Neanderthals.
Right. But somebody settled next to the ocean and they started eating like omega-3s out of the water because
Well, I think it was
seafood has like a high amount of omega-3s.
I think it was the discovery of fire is what it was.
Yes, it was. Fire for sure changed the course of.
Well, I think it was breaking down protein to a more digestible level.
Interesting.
Not necessarily the fish, but that you could put a rock that was next to a fire
Interesting.
in water, boil veggies and stuff, and eat that. I don't know. You'd have to ask.
I'm honestly not super sure about that.
You would have to ask.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think that's part of it.
I definitely think, I mean, that changed the way our digestive systems worked in general.
Cooking was probably one of the first. Yeah. So I don't know. It's, I mean, you know, philosophy is hard
Yeah, that is very true.
because no one knows. And if you don't know, then what are you supposed to do? You're just supposed to pick a thing and stick to it. Just hope for the best.
Yeah.
What else?
Sure.
What else
It's
is
funny.
there?
I mean, that's how we got this far. You're not wrong about that.
And the point of procreating or whatever is like the very basic thing what we're supposed to do. But like I was clue into that idea that like we're probably never going to evolve out of a little bit of insanity as a species, because in order for us to go, hey, we're going to send ships out and we don't know what's at the other end. Hopefully there's something.
You have to be a little crazy.
You have to be a little crazy. And then we're going to do it in space. That's
Maybe.
the next frontier.
Maybe. We'll see. They keep saying it.
They'll do it.
Wait and see it.
They'll do it as soon as they see the dollar signs on how much titanium is in a meteor. They'll start doing it.
There's a
Is
resource.
that car still
Once
floating
they
in space?
they can
Probably.
feasibly mine resources from space.
There's no way that's not going to happen. You know.
Yeah.
Because if
I'm firmly on the side that we're going to definitely blow up before we get that far. I don't think we're going to make it off planet before we.
I mean, we've had
before
this
we kill
this
ourselves.
argument over
Yeah.
and over.
Yeah.
I always vie for humanity.
I'm not saying that we won't survive. I just don't think we'll make it off the planet. And if we do, it'll be like a space station. It's not going to be like going to Mars. I don't think. I mean, personally, I'm not familiar with the science, but I don't think they've figured out how to put people into cryo sleep yet and like transport them that far and have them be able to survive in a place that's unbearable. You guys have seen that movie?
I
with
guarantee.
Matt Damon.
I guarantee you they're working on it.
I'm sure they are. No, I'm not.
You know, I'm going to say something.
Definitely
I'm going to say
sure.
something controversial.
What? Joseph? Crazy.
I think we should push science as far as it can possibly go. And fuck the consequences.
Just for funsies? Or?
Disagree.
No, but
Heavy
like,
disagree.
sure, and I think most people would. That's why I said it was controversial.
At the cost of what? Everything?
Well, we're fucked anyways, like you said.
Sure.
So you might as well get the coolest shit out of it.
You don't get to experience the cool shit though.
So
You just
I'm not
die.
going to anyways.
Okay, so why just
So you
die?
just want it to happen?
Yeah, I like the idea. I like the idea of humanity surviving whether or not I'm there.
Whimsy.
Is that a concept
Zero.
that's beyond, because that's what it ends up being when you have this specific argument is people want to be on the boat that's leaving, and you don't consider like, do you still want the boat to go even if you're not on it? Like if you're fucked, if you're one of the pores left on Earth, yeah, it's gonna fucking suck. We're maybe not in that class, and we're not gonna be lucky enough to go. But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't go.
Personally, I'm planning on being Dennis Quaid from the movie 2012. I'm going to make it to the ship at the end of the movie.
And I think most of us would fight our way to try to.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'd all
But
die.
but that doesn't mean
And I'm okay
my
with this.
philosophy should land at, you know, it's not doable because it's hard or because we don't, or
I
because
agree.
people are shitty.
I agree.
We're gonna survive and we're gonna do it.
So do you want it just for like the survival of the human race?
What else is there?
I don't think we should push
I'm
science.
not gonna. Sorry.
I don't think we should push science so far as to destroy humanity, though. I think you said we should push it as far as we can, which at the end I think would destroy humanity because of that insanity clause we were talking about earlier that every human has. I think it's totally fine to explore science and see what we can do.
Like, where do
but,
you want to draw the line on science?
I mean, I don't think they should be trying to create black holes. Why are you doing that?
So what if
You know?
they find out that they can create this energy and then we don't need to use fossil fuels anymore?
At the expense of us all being sucked into a black hole?
But you're saying at the expense. We don't know that that's what would happen.
But isn't the
I
expense
don't think it's worth the
already
risk.
that we're slowly destroying the planet? So like it's just a time frame thing.
That's true. It is true. But
I like that. I liked that. I like that you just did that.
It's very true. I mean, it is very true. But shouldn't we take as much time as we can to come up with a good solution instead of one that only benefits 1%?
That's what you're hung up on. You're hung up on like elites getting
I'm not
the
hung
option.
up on anything. You want
But
science to be pushed as far as it can go, and I'm just countering.
Well,
that
I feel like
point.
we should lift some of the restrictions on it. We should let it. We should see what is
like
possible.
what? I just want to know what restrictions do you think they're being held to?
Ethical ones.
I don't think that's as big of a problem as you think it is.
I don't think they give a shit about ethics.
I don't actually think
And
they
if
give.
could do
Well,
it.
let's go.
Yeah.
I mean,
would.
I'm not. I don't know. I don't know that this is going to sound good at all. But like people that are, on death row, let's see what kind of studies we can do with them.
Whoa.
I'm
Yeah, I mean,
especially if they're don't
Okay, so y'all don't think it's that much of a problem.
So I
but
think
that's not creating black holes. And
I think we're probably already.
But there you
doing
go.
that.
We're drawing back on. Okay, well,
yes, exactly.
that
No,
person
I'm
has
not drawing
rights.
back
All
on
of a
anything.
sudden, it's okay if that person doesn't have rights.
No,
That's the line I'm talking
think
about. That's the.
I think
let's
Nazi
not worry
Germany,
about
like we saw that
Of course.
during the Holocaust, like in these concentration camps, that's exactly what they were doing with people that they also deemed
Thought were disposable.
disposable.
Right.
And they were doing it, and we found out, and now it's this big like horror tale that we tell everyone to try and prevent it happening again. But if they did it, it's happening still. Probably here.
yeah.
What's like the biggest killer of people that isn't people or their diet? Like malaria?
Pretty sure it's cancer.
It might be cancer now, but I'm talking about in like 1930s Germany.
Oh,
It would have been like malaria or something like that, right?
I have no idea. I am not familiar.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
I don't know
statistically.
what the biggest cause of death would have been.
I thought malaria was an Africa thing, but
Well,
that could be very, very.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it's mosquito related. But anyway,
That's I think why I think that.
yeah, exactly. So let's say that they had. This is one of those questions, right? So let's say that they had in that atrocity. We're not Holocaust deniers on the Chorizo Sis show. In that atrocity, they discovered the cure for malaria or whatever, and we could have obliterated a disease with that research, but it was gotten in this way. Do we throw the research out because it was gotten in that way, or do we go, well, this did cure a disease?
I guess the question is did they throw the research out from the Germans? Because I don't think they did. I think they definitely
They didn't throw away the rocket scientists.
I think they
continued
utilized
it.
all of it
Yeah.
and continued doing it. So I think the
I
answer
don't
to
know.
your question is right
I think you
there.
would have to find out. I know they got the physicists. We definitely NASA is all ex-Nazi scientists.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more so talking about like notes and stuff too. I mean, they definitely took
Well,
every single piece.
So, okay,
a
I'm not
lot
ask-
of
I'm
our
not
medical
asking
research
again,
also
remember-
roots back to
Yeah.
Nazi Germany.
So
Yes.
remember, I didn't say it's
crazy.
I didn't
We
say
kept it-
did they
yeah.
historically or not. I said should we?
Oh,
Okay. No, but that doesn't mean we should.
No, we shouldn't throw
do
it out, or no,
no.
we shouldn't use it.
yeah.
We shouldn't throw it out.
We shouldn't throw
but
it
we
out.
shouldn't continue
The atrocities,
it.
we shouldn't continue it, but the atrocities have to mean something. I mean, if they all fucking died, I mean, we
Right.
not might as well, but I mean, at least it can hopefully save somebody,
Future,
future
right.
children. Does that mean we should throw all ethics out the window and test on people? Absolutely not.
I want to know.
But then again, if it's somebody like we were talking about earlier, like on death row, who has committed atrocities and taken
Like that guy that killed his wife and his kids.
and
You're like,
taken
we
control from
can use
others.
his DNA for stuff.
I think that's totally fair. I really do.
I think it goes to consent. Just because I do believe that a huge number of people would agree to be tested on
I think so too.
terrible death row inmates and otherwise.
If they go,
think
oh,
a
I got more
lot
freedom
of
in the
people
prison. I can watch TV and shit.
Would agree to undergo some pretty
I'll
awful
put some injections.
testing.
Yeah, right.
Even just for, like you said, you just want to see the advancement of the human race. Like there are probably
I don't
whole
see
lot of people that
I
would
just-
agree with that mindset and would sacrifice themselves for it.
Which is why I think it's actually happening, and it's not something that. I mean, I 100. You really think they're not doing unethical stuff behind closed doors? Like, I don't know. Who I don't know who they is. I'm not saying anyone specifically.
I'm sure they are.
But I mean, I definitely think it's happening.
But I guess, like, fuck it.
Sure.
I just don't have a feeling like, oh, they shouldn't do that, or oh, that's shitty. I'm like, go for it.
I agree with the caveat of consent. Because my big thing, and it's the same reason I don't believe in the death penalty, is because I don't think we have the right to take a life, even if someone deserves it. And that goes with, like,
you definitely do.
We don't have the right
the state
to
doesn't.
inflict any kind of
state
suffering.
doesn't.
The state doesn't. You and I don't.
Yes,
no
we
one
do.
has
We
the right
absolutely
to inflict
do.
suffering.
Yes, we do. If somebody broke in here and started beating the shit out of you, and I shot them and they died,
Self-defense is different. I mean, like...
but that's you.
Self-defense is like preservation of life. And even then, like, if I were forced to kill
Well, I'm
someone
saving
in
your life.
self-defense, it would ruin me.
Saving your life, not mine.
Yours too.
Okay, but if they're
That's
attacking
just-
you and I shoot them, it's fine.
Sure.
So where are we at?
There's a difference between I need to kill you or you're going to kill me or someone in this room. And I need to kill you to punish you.
Yes. So I think the heat of the moment is very, very different than I'm going to sit here and debate whether or not this person deserves to die. Mm-hmm. Right? I think getting attacked and protecting yourself or protecting someone you care for is a much different thing than a group of individuals who have never met you before deciding whether or not you live or die based on evidence.
Okay, what if the situation is...
While I am saying that, I am pro death penalty. Very sorry, Michaela. I just don't think we utilize it correctly or...
Enough.
I think it's crazy that we have death row people that have been sitting on death row for 20 plus
That
years.
is kind of wild. If we're going to use it,
I think that's insane. Why are you sentencing somebody to death row?
Well, what if the question
And then
was...
keeping them in the system.
What if the question was, I think people's like thought about it would be different if it was like, okay, we need 100 subjects for this experiment. And then all of a sudden you have to decide, does this person get added to the experiment or not? And it's going to be some life-changing thing. We're going to cure pancreatic cancer with this guy. Then you would have a reason to be like, maybe he shouldn't be... Maybe we shouldn't be taking care of this family annihilator in prison. Maybe it should go towards this research. But then there you go with the like, well, who the fuck am I to decide what's right for somebody else? I don't know. I don't think any of us know.
I don't know.
Definitely
I think
not.
I
Nobody
just
knows.
don't think any of us, even the most trained or licensed or whatever, has the wisdom or the superiority to decide on someone's life. If I were religious, I would say like only God has that right. But really, no one has that right. Your most basic human right, and really like we're given rights by our government or whatever. Again, the argument completely changes if you're religious. But you're given these rights. The only real right you have is the right to be alive.
Are you pro-choice?
Yeah. But I also don't believe that we can scratch this, but I don't believe that a fetus is a life.
Okay.
So
I am pro-choice. I'm asking for the sake of argument.
yeah.
I'm saying like, well, there you go. That is an example of that question.
That's true, but
It is definitely an argument
I
that
don't
can
think
be
at that
made.
point
It's an
I
example
know,
of that
I know.
question. It's like, oh, no one should be deciding to take your life away. Well, imagine if you have no say at all.
Well, you can't say anything because you're not a person, because you're a fetus.
Mm-hmm.
You're a clump of cells. And I think, I think that's a very, very big difference, but it is definitely an argument that can be made by an antagonistic person.
No, we're having a conversation. if we're talking about what rights you have to exist, and then that's a question that should be in the ballpark.
An unborn clump of cells versus somebody who's lived an entire life and affected thousands of people because people do. I mean, whether it's by a tiny little
Again,
thing.
I said I was pro-choice. You're not going to convince me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're not
trying
going to convince me.
I just think it's a big difference.
Where's the line? Where's the line on that? When are they not?
I thought I just said it.
Because when are they not a clump of cells anymore?
At what point are you a... Yeah. Is it heartbeat? Is it... That's something
if somebody murders
know.
a pregnant lady who fully intended to have that child,
who's 8
should
months pregnant.
should that guy that murdered them get in trouble 2 times?
I think we should just put murderers in jail forever and not only give them 10 years. And it shouldn't matter how many people you murdered. I think you should just go to jail if you murder people out of malice.
What if it's a drunk driving? Yeah, I mean there you go.
Forethought.
There you go. There's a lot of
everything has a
so
caveat.
many.
Like everything can be argued against 100%. But as a moral person,
well, right. Again,
yeah.
I don't know. That's a tricky one. This is getting controversial
It
here
is getting
on the bros.
extremely. I thought we were controversial
really
with veganism
drifted.
at the beginning, but now here we are on pro-choice freaking birthing rights.
I mean, I guess that maybe you were right about that. It does ask a lot of questions about.
I mean, there was a very
big issues.
There was lots of talk of pregnant people in the book. I mean, one of the quotes that I couldn't say the quote right off the top of my head, but at one point they're talking about how mostly the females are submissive unless they're pregnant, and then they have to cut off their arms, I think is what they said, their arms and legs, because like they would throw themselves against the cages and like harm themselves. So they were just like, we'll just impregnate armless and legless people, and then they can't hurt themselves.
There were breeding stock that were specifically meant. And we do that to animals too.
Absolutely.
We have severely fattened and crippled animals that are used specifically for breeding.
They can just roll back and forth. Yeah.
And put in cages where most of the time they can't roll back and forth because it's like a suckling cage where they're, it's really messed up.
It is
very ugly.
Yeah, but I think you brought that up for the commentary on the instinct for self-preservation is heightened because they're carrying a child.
Absolutely. I mean, as Michaela said earlier, I mean, what are humans here for? What is any animal creature here for except to reproduce? So yeah, even if you're not smart at all, you're going to still try to preserve what's growing inside of your body.
Yeah.
Here, I actually put a little tag here, and it's just a whatever. No, because the government says there's no risk with mosquitoes. The government wants to manipulate you. That's the only reason it exists.
Amen, sister.
But I mean, do you want to live in an anarchist society?
I actually thought that was very interesting, though, that they were so afraid of bird poop and not blood-to-blood mosquito transfers, because mosquitoes eat from animals as well. So wouldn't they be more concerned about that? I would think.
Aren't mosquitoes animals also?
Yeah, but did they say that bugs have it? I mean, that's crazy.
No, I know, because they're lying.
Exactly, because they're lying, because none of it's true. Yeah. Exactly.
The smell of barbecue is in the air. They go to the rest area where the farmhands are roasting a rack of meat on a cross. El Gringo explains to Egmont that they've been preparing it since 8 a.m, so it melts in your mouth. And that the guys are actually about to eat a kid. It's the most tender kind of meat. There's only just a little because a kid doesn't weigh as much as a calf.
Yeah, there's another part where one of the rich guys
want a sandwich?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, where it drips on his white sneakers, which is just so on the nose. Horrible. Just it's low hanging fruit, but it is just very much the blood of an infant on white sneakers.
Yeah. Did I?
It's okay. It's barbecue sauce. It's not blood.
Did I miss this, or did they not really talk about like? They just can't eat vegetables?
No, they definitely...
Did they? Because I don't really remember it.
So there is an excerpt where he's at the rich man's house where they're hunting the rock star, right? You remember that scene? And so at the end, they're having a meal, and that was very... Let's talk about that a little bit more. But at the end, they're having a meal, and he very specifically is talking about how he's like pushing the fingers away and trying to only eat the vegetables out of the meal. It was like carrots or something specifically, because it was like a carrot and finger dish. And I thought that was very interesting, because he says at some point in the novel that he stopped eating flesh. He was trying to not eat flesh, but there was several instances in the novel where it was kind of like forced upon him in a way, and he was just like, okay, well, like I'll eat around it kind of thing. So I thought that was interesting.
But it doesn't specifically say what's happening to the farmland?
Does not specifically say what's happening to the farmland, no.
I mean, I think it loops back to the whole, like, it's not just a necessity, it's a kink. It's a perversion for people. Like,
Absolutely.
they've been given permission to do this, and they have leaned headfirst into it. And it didn't really take much. Like, if they're allowed to do it, they'll do it. And if it is a government conspiracy, then there's nothing stopping them. Like, there's probably plenty of other options, but that wasn't the option that was intended to begin with.
Yeah.
So they're given this, and
but you're under the impression that that's with the argument that only the elites are doing it in this world, and it's not.
No, but even still, like, it's
like everybody's eating it.
It's being encouraged.
I wanted to
in
see
the same way that the meat industry is encouraged for us.
Yeah.
Like, it's pushed on you.
Beef, it's what for dinner.
She's talking about, like, sifting around on veggies. Shelby, I'm sure you experience that all the time, where you go to dinner with people and you have to pick through the food.
I've actually just stopped going to dinner with people, so.
Because it's almost like people are just, they're like, eat this, eat this, eat this. Absolutely. You'll love it.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm sure is
well,
happening here.
There's
It's being pushed in every direction.
And that was actually one of Augustina's takes, was that was something, since she is from Argentina, she is vegetarian, was that was something specifically that she drew from, because people were constantly offering her meat. And
it's like the beef country of the world. Yeah,
yeah, it is. They're very
the number one beef export of the world.
I wrote that aspects of Argentina's beef industry.
So that was something that she actually had drawn from her personal life, I had read, which I thought was interesting, since she said it wasn't really about veganism, but whatever.
I mean, maybe she just wanted to sell it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a big part of it too. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, it kind of takes the knees out of the.
If you read it as
if it's a criticism,
novel,
you're like, I'm gonna sell a ton of books if I do this. You're like,
But you can sell it as a horror sci-fi, and it's much better.
It'll sell better.
Yeah.
I wanted to see. They talked about the tannery. They talked about wanting specifically black skin for purses or boots or whatever they were talking about. And that was like as disturbing as it's supposed to be. But I wanted to see like other stuff. They did talk about science experiments. They did talk about the tannery. They did talk about, the meat industry itself. But like I wanted to see like fast food. Like maybe a commentary on like it being like, how would they sell a Big Mac?
Canned
with
food,
this stuff,
processed, preserved,
like they didn't.
Maybe
there's a
just
lot of
not
stuff
that
they
yet.
didn't.
They're literally one generation.
Well, again, it's a small book. It's not, Well, you think that would be the first thing they do?
You would
Preserve
think so,
or
not preserving, but just the fast food, commercializing it. Yeah.
What would have made this like? I would have been like, whoa, that's kind of cool that they decided to do that. Is if it's a subversion of the Beyond Meat burger, where it's like we're gonna pretend this is carrot. But it's meat, human meat. So they maybe like push, have your special salad, pretending like, I don't know. I thought that, or like it's a baked potato, but it's like, I don't know. Maybe that's too far.
Like, you meant like they're like lying to people about it?
No, they're
they're
just selling special meat as, you want to eat more veggies.
This is our new special meat baked potato.
Yeah, right. Joking on that concept of.
It's just a skull cut in half in somebody's brain.
Right, and it's like.
I don't know what else would be a big potato.
So the assumption, though, is that, like, the economy took a pretty bad hit, too. Like, when all of this happened, the country is probably left in shambles for a good period of time. And the way that he, like, interacts, like, in the town with other people, and the way the world is built does kind of feel like it's almost set back a pace.
Yeah.
So maybe we are just not there yet. Like, they're still trying to figure this out, and you're almost back in this, like, small town village kind of mentality, even though you do have these big processing plants.
I was about to say, but it just feels so well thought out with the processing plants. But I guess at the end of the day, all they really did was replace the cattle.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't change the plant, really. I mean, pretty much all that machinery could have probably been adjusted to fit humans.
But he mentions that the economy took a big hit.
Yes.
Like, it's not just assumed. They talk
Yeah.
about how poor
Absolutely.
people are
Yeah.
because of this. I don't know if that speaks to, like, why they're not doing fast food or anything like that. But
Our
it
main
does
character
kind of
doesn't
explain
seem-
why the idea of, like, owning a head or having a freezer in your house is so, like, revolutionary, and it's a sign of wealth. And
Why didn't we
also,
see zoos?
maybe that's a commentary on Argentina not having fast food as much. I mean, fast food is very much an Americanized and I feel like westernized type thing.
I think it's kind of everywhere.
it is everywhere.
It is everywhere, but I don't feel like it's
We're,
I mean,
we
you don't walk- you
they
don't
shove
walk-
it down our throats here, but
Yes.
I think it is everywhere.
you don't
It's
walk
very
down the
much.
street and there's, McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut. I mean, there's
That is
definitely
true.
those
That's true.
places,
Yeah.
but you can't find them on every single block.
So,
You
do
know
you
what
think
I
if they
mean?
did a sequel of this, they would do that? They would have a fast food version of this, or they would have
yeah.
because I was like a zoo.
That
Why
would
don't
be
they have
your
a
next
human
step.
zoo?
That would be your next step, is to take it even further. And
Why would they have a human zoo? There's no variety. I think they'll just give a chance to humanize the people, and they don't want that because in
it
a
would
way,
remind
zoos-
you
Then you
they
would
look
see
like
them.
you.
Exactly,
Yes.
because I mean, if they were in a zoo, you would assume they'd let them grow their hair out and look a little like maybe they wouldn't be able to talk. They'd still remove the vocal cords or whatever they were doing. But I mean,
I think they cut the tongue, but I'm not sure.
I
Anyway,
can't remember
I
specifically.
know. I think it's their vocal cords.
I thought they
the whole
sliced
vocal-
I think
the
it's the
vocal
vocal
cord.
cord.
Yeah.
Maybe the tongue too, because you can eat it.
because they don't want.
You ever had lengua?
No, it would have been the vocal cords because they don't want them screaming or making any.
They definitely
kind of
talked about
sound.
eating tongues, though.
They did, yeah.
So
They talked about eating every
yeah,
part.
they definitely did.
What part do you think tastes best?
Of a human,
Yeah.
the butt.
You
The
think
butt.
so?
No.
That's where all the fat and the toxins
That's not what
would
Issei
be.
Sagawa said.
What part did he say is the
We
best?
didn't watch the video.
He said he tried to eat the butt, but found stuff that was yellow and looked like corn.
That's
It's
what
fat.
I would imagine. Yeah, that it would be so.
The
there
good
would be
parts.
So much toxic. Just.
Oh, anyway, the less said on that guy, the better. At least for right now.
At least for right now.
Maybe organs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think organs would definitely be up there,
Sausage?
for
The
sure.
meat is probably pretty rancid on a human with the crap that we eat.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I just honestly,
Sausage.
personally, I just
you mix
feel like
it with seasonings and other.
I feel like
yeah.
blends and
Little
stuff like
paprika.
that would be like the best way to do it because humans just don't have that much meat in general on them. So it would be mostly sausages and blends, like brisket blends. I don't know, whatever.
Yikes.
Yeah, pretty crazy. I don't think we talked enough about the ending.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we didn't talk about the puppy either.
Oh, the puppies. Yeah.
I skimmed that part. I
Or the-
cried.
you
I'm
wanted-
not gonna lie; it was really, really traumatizing
It was
for
really
me.
hard.
Especially while my puppies laid on my lap and they talked about bludgeoning them. That was fucking horrible.
Which is crazy that that's the worst part for us all is the puppy scene. And I think that's kind of what she meant. I think,
It's kind of the point she was making.
yeah.
In a way, maybe.
I think she included that so that you were acutely aware of how uncomfortable them killing puppies made you compared to the entire rest of the book. Because I also
Definitely.
didn't
Yeah.
want to read it. It
Definitely. Yeah, that was
was
that
the worst part.
tough.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he does
Absolutely.
seem to show more compassion for the dog
Absolutely.
than he did anybody
Absolutely,
else.
he does. He shows so much compassion for the dogs. He recalls his family dogs. He talks about those dogs several times.
But he brings up those dogs, and I think it's foreshadowing to what he's going to do to Jasmine.
Interesting.
Because he has to kill them because of the way the system has changed
The fact
to
that-
protect them from the consequences of him loving them or taking care of them.
I don't
And then
think
he
would have
has
been
to
able
do
kill them if
he has to do
loved
the
them.
same thing to her, just like she's a dog who is going to get him in trouble or
Yeah. And that's 100%. I mean, the very last line is,
a pet who becomes like their owner.
the
Who
human look.
resembles their owner too much, something like that. Yeah.
What was the line specifically? The human look of a wild animal.
that
is
has
what
come to
he says
resemble
it.
its owner. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great line.
It's very interesting because you're right. I mean, I actually think that's a really good catch that it's foreshadowing it. The way he was able to kill his dogs, like I was like, no, yeah, you've got something wrong with you already. And obviously you're living in a world where you're kind of forced at a hand, but I mean, maybe I'm different because I am vegan or whatever, but I've always been very compassionate towards animals. Long before when I ate meat, I was very compassionate towards animals, but I just couldn't imagine ever. I mean, I would at least have to have somebody else do it. I would never be able to murder my companion animal.
Are these are these people a product of their environment, these characters? Or is the environment a product of how just awful people are?
I don't want to be a product of my environment. I want my environment to be a product of me.
I think it goes both ways.
I think the environment's always a product of the people. Especially in something like this. People manipulate the environment. I mean, the environment, I feel like, has very little effect on us, actually.
But it's
I don't know about that.
it's a snowball.
Tell anybody
effect,
from
right?
the fucking the hood.
Like the
I'm
environment.
not,
They
I'm not
didn't-
talking about societal and class settings. I'm talking about the environment. I mean, I think that's a little bit...
I mean environment in
Like
the
how society is
society
going
in
on.
the book. I'm not. They didn't talk about what's happening with the.
But it's endless because we set the standards. The standards make us feel normalized. So our environment makes us feel better about the decision we made to set those standards. It's
a feedback loop.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't end, and they influence each other. You know, the more we define the world that we're living in, the more we feel justified in it. So we take it further and further, which is exactly what's happening here. Is how far can we get when we all tell each other we're allowed to?
Does it say what year this happens in?
It does not.
Right. So is this a not so distant future? Because they don't talk about how
think so, yeah.
the technology is. Someone said that this isn't a future. This is an alternate universe.
I feel like it could be like now. I feel like
I feel like
could
its
very
setting
much
is
could be,
basically
like,
now.
Now,
Yeah.
right?
So too.
I definitely think I was interested when you said it was a generation because it definitely talked about him working in the regular meat factory, but it never really disclosed his age as much. And I guess he did have a young son, so you're kind of led to believe like he's in his like 30s or so.
Yeah.
So,
Well, but his dad is at the end of his life.
Mm-hmm.
So you're assuming his dad is what, 70 at the youngest, hopefully?
Yeah.
If he's not.
Hopefully, right,
And
yeah.
as far as you know, all he really has is dementia.
Yeah.
So, which is not all
Well-
because that takes you out quick too.
Or
they-
is it Mad Cow?
Do they kind of allude to the fact that
I think he says dementia.
well, I
Yeah,
don't,
but you know how cows get that.
does he allude to the fact that his
From
dad
eating
lost
their
his
own.
mind after
That's interesting.
the
Yeah.
transition? Doesn't he allude to
Yes.
that?
But
So-
he says it sped up, like the death of his mother and the transition
sped it up,
caused him to kind of lose
his mind.
Yeah.
Although Mad Cow, his father would have never participated. And he makes that clear that his dad wouldn't have, if he was in his right mind during
He wouldn't have
he
succumbed
wouldn't
to it.
have done it.
See, but that would be another thing. That would be interesting. Maybe if she does a sequel to this.
I just feel like this world has so much more to offer, right? And I feel like the author could have done a lot more as well. Like, and I understand, like, it's supposed to kind of feel like a fever dream, but I would have really, I think, valued a lot more information about the story, And
Yeah,
Sure,
it had
yeah.
me wanting to know more about it.
it did leave me wanting more. And I don't think she's going to
Isn't
ever
that a
give us
good
any
thing?
more. It is, if you're going to give us more. But I don't think she's ever planning on
I'd like
giving
to
us
see
any more.
if she did like a short story that takes place in this universe.
What do you think happened after the birth of the baby? What do you guys think? Like logistically, what do you think could have possibly? There was
How
no,
they could have explained it.
Was,
There was no
he
good
was very
outcome.
comfortable
He was.
with riding the line of legality already.
Absolutely. But how would they explain
They
the
would
baby?
have they would have been fine. He would have gotten someone to sign off on some papers.
on something. But what kind of
True.
papers? He really
But
only
he
had the
works for-
power
Well,
to
what do you
sign
do?
off
Well,
on.
so to
He
what?
works
To his
for a
neighbor,
slaughterhouse,
his
though.
neighbors asking him, "Hey, what's up? Why do you guys have a baby? All
Why
of a
do you
sudden,
have a
what
baby?
happened?"
Yeah.
He could be like, "Oh, well, we adopted." You guys don't know how to lie?
Yeah, but how do you... He wasn't in a position to get those kinds of papers taken care of. He was in a position to take care of heads.
Well, he's gonna have to.
But let's also talk about
or they're gonna eat it.
Had to do something.
The lead up to the end of the story. I mean, he's actively burning bridges.
Someone would have eaten it.
Oh, yeah.
They would have sent them all to the municipal slaughterhouse, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, the baby? Oh, definitely.
If they found him.
If they found out the baby was dead, it would have definitely been eaten.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That Marco and his wife would not have done that.
I mean, Marcos and his wife would have been put to death, right?
No,
that was the...
Right. I'm saying they weren't going to eat the baby.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. But I mean, look at the lead up to the end of the book. I mean, he's actively burning bridges with people that he is supposed to be working closely with, specifically like the scientist. He's like not taking any more shit from her, like in her weirdness. So like he's already kind of like setting up the suspicion that like he's kind of like losing his mind towards the exterior, right? Like if you were someone watching,
people are already noticing his change in behavior.
Exactly. His boss, whose name is Sergio, I think might be his name, is like already noticing he's like kind of like acting a little weird, you know? And I just feel like if he's all of a sudden like, oh, hey, like I have a baby now. And like they know that he was gifted this head. You know what I mean? Like,
well, he wouldn't stay there.
They would have fled the country.
Yeah, they would have.
They talk
taken
about
off.
how there are other countries where this is not normalized, which is wild. Like, how is there? How are there countries that aren't doing this while this is happening? That almost seems like a plot hole to me. But
to me, it does as well.
I don't think you're supposed to think too much about
You're not.
the logistics too much.
I think so too.
I don't think you're really supposed to think about what was going to happen afterwards. You're supposed to be so shocked by the ending that you.
I think we all agree that we were all shocked that happened, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They would have fled the country.
I think so too. They would have been okay with like.
I think I was the most upset by the wife's reaction of why would you do that? She could have given us more babies. I thought that was like one of the craziest lines of the whole book, especially considering. I mean, you don't know much about the wife, but from what you do know, it seems as if she's a very like caring and emotional person, right? But to just be like, oh, you murdered her. I mean, I don't know. Witnessing the murder of anybody, because like you're still not. It's even like when you're murdering food, animals, whatever, right? Like you don't see that, but generally when somebody does see that, they're not okay with it, right? They're like, I'm not gonna fucking eat that, you know. But like, yeah, her initial reaction being like, "Why did you murder her when we could have kept using her?" was just not what I expected, I guess.
I wasn't expecting it, but it does make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't think Cecilia was an emotional or empathetic
I don't think any
person.
of these people are.
No, definitely not. But I think she was, from the start, emotionally removed. Like part of his grief is, and he says it maybe 2 times, he's like, he was my son too.
Yeah.
And she kind of just doesn't, she's just whatever. Like almost like he was also just a means to an end to her. Like she just, like it was all about this baby. Like I don't know, she just didn't seem that. Maybe that's a complaint for me, is that Cecilia was not well rounded enough. You should have gotten to know her more before
I don't know.
she
I
does
think it's
this
okay
terrible
that she
thing.
feels she's supposed to feel removed from the thing.
I also think
that's actually better that she's not fleshed out.
I also think that's like a narrator thing too. You know, it's from the perspective of Marcos. He's very angry with her for leaving.
It's true.
You know, I think he could also portray her, but like kind of like the small things, like she was a nurse, she knows what she's like.
That's true.
Kind of stuff like that kind of made it seem as if she was probably more caring than he was. And maybe one of the reasons she kind of lost it when the baby died was because of everything that's going on in society as well, right? And like just kind of shut off because he's actively murdering stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting concept. But yeah, I also think it could have been more fleshed out for Cecilia as well.
I would have liked to know her.
A book from her perspective. Like, I don't know, you know? I would honestly take anything more from this universe. And
if she did another thing in this universe, I would read it just out of curiosity.
I'd be very interested, yeah.
The last thing I want to bring up is the scavengers.
Oh my gosh.
And they're there.
Oh, the religious
they're
cult
there
too?
a little bit.
Okay, yeah. The cult as well.
God
yeah.
damn
it. There's so much. Okay. It's a relatively short book. And
but
there is so much going on. Which is, you know, you guys talk about how like none of it was deep enough. And I kind of think think the beauty in it was that there was so much. It's like everywhere you turn, you don't know which part to dissect. And it feels like an assault to the senses.
Well, it's quantity over quality.
Yeah. I'd argue there's quality there too, but
there is quality.
There's a lot happening that you can't.
It's breadth over depth.
Yeah, you can't really dig into any of it too long. It's like, what is the cult? I mean, it's interesting, but it's like, what is the thing? Oh, people sacrifice themselves to be eaten. That's kind of a cool
the scavengers.
concept.
I think it's very interesting.
The scavengers. Yeah, sorry.
And that goes back to like my thought of we're talking about this world being kind of set back, like almost like a dystopian, like there's a wasteland element to it of these people who are just roaming the land, eating people wherever they can get it because they're starving.
They can't even use hearses anymore because they were attacking the cars,
right?
Of people's loved ones and stuff.
They're like a third type, like they present
crazy.
A third type of human.
Crazy.
Yeah. You have the heads, you have the normal people who are eating them, and then you have these zombies. Scavengers who are something in between.
It's almost like a take on mad cow disease, honestly. They've lost their damn minds about the entire thing, I mean, they're really...
You said, I had the thought earlier when you said it, yeah.
Reverting back to...
They say that eating people makes you crazy.
Yeah.
And what if these scavengers are...
Crazy
like
from that.
People that have gone crazy.
Absolutely, that tracks and makes sense. The fact that...
All right, I guess I got to read it a third time.
The fact
from the perspective of the scavengers. That's what I want. A book from their point of view.
The whole legality of the sacrifice thing, though, with the cult and the cult, like, coming there with the person coming to the, factory and being like, here's the person we're going to sacrifice. We have all this paperwork signed off from the government. Like... That's crazy because we don't even allow cults to sacrifice animals now. We actively eat animals, and that's still illegal. You can't sacrifice a goat legally. Like, that's still very much frowned upon. So the fact that we took it so far as to be like, oh yeah, you can definitely sacrifice humans now because that's different than a head. They're human. They're a layered, complex individual.
Don't we have like religiously okay legal stuff with animals? It's called halal.
Yes, but it's not like a...
And the intention is that they're gonna... It's meat that's gonna be eaten.
True. I guess that's like... But it's not like a culty thing, right? That's...
Isn't it?
In this...
Let's not be offensive to all religions.
I'm sorry. We can cut that part.
No, but for real, I do. I agree.
I think none of us are religious people.
I think for the most part, most religions are definitely cults in general. I definitely agree with where you're coming from. But I guess that is...
But if we're talking, I'm just trying to technically,
true,
I think they kind of are
I guess
okay
what
with
I guess what I'm trying to say is that goat doesn't go to like a...
factory.
It doesn't go to a factory.
Right.
It doesn't have to get like a bunch of... You're just...
I think you do have to be like... You have to get a certificate, or you have to have like some kind of...
You get paperwork on it.
Yeah.
I'm not super familiar, so I guess you could definitely
I think you do, because
right.
I think they can get in trouble if they put a halal stamp on something and it's not. So I think they legally have to...
But halal food that you buy in the grocery store, though, that is because the entire factory is halal. I am talking about
I don't know the ins and outs of it. I'm just saying...
Yes, but I think I'm very specifically talking about a group of individuals, a small sector of a religion, taking an animal and sacrificing it, or human, like they did in the book.
I'm pretty sure they still can.
Yeah,
because you can go into your backyard and kill your goat and eat it, and nobody's going to fight you on it.
Yeah.
But if you sacrifice a goat in a field with religious sanctum, you're going to be looked at kind of weird.
But that comes from just like a fear of
cult.
It comes from a Christian mentality of
well, they would get in trouble for doing it not in a sanctioned area. Like if they went and did it in the park, they'd be like, you can't do that out here.
Right.
I still think it's
it has to be
to take a
it has to be in your church or at home or whatever. It's the kind of thing.
Yeah. Sure, I agree to an extent in a way. But
I'm not saying I want to watch any of this. I'm just saying
I just think it's weird too.
I don't think they get arrested for eating an animal that they own.
A wild concept for 4 pages in the book.
Yeah. Literally. I mean, the previous one, they had to like lock down the whole factory because it escaped, right? That's what they were talking about. And it didn't want to be sent.
Yeah, they signed their life off and then they
Changed their mind.
Changed their mind. Yeah. It was almost all shock value.
Yeah, some of that is lessened upon reread. I was kind of like, oh, I know what to expect now. So it was kind of like, oh,
yeah,
whatever.
you're not sitting there with your mouth open.
You're
just
like, what?
holy shit.
Well, I don't know that. I mean, even the first time it was like, you know, because there's like a whole community online about like people that read disturbing books. And I was like, this one's not really that disturbing. It's kind of just, it doesn't take it the gory area as much. It again, and that's fine. It is what it is.
I personally think a single sociopath is much scarier than an entire nation being brainwashed. Right? I don't think that. I think that's a normal. I think that's like a normal thing. Like that's something that happens every single day. Right? Everybody's like kind of convinced by the government or by big food to like do something, but a single person just going out and being a cannibal and eating somebody because they want to is, I think, a much scarier concept to
in our society right now. Yeah,
sure.
The idea of somebody actively thinking, oh, I'd like to eat that person.
And I don't think we ever really touched too much on the cooler scene, but the fact that his sister literally kept a live human in the cooler and was just taking off bits and pieces at the time.
I forgot about that.
I think I breezed over the fact that that human
actually
was living.
Insane.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the whole, like, her trying to, like, kind of hide it from him and being like, oh, yeah, we got this cooler, like, it's really cool, but, like, don't look in there kind of thing, you know? And she literally just had a light, which is illegal, I'm pretty sure, in that world as well. You're not supposed to keep them alive.
Yeah.
Because that's torture. I mean.
But it's also a status thing, and I think we were talking about that. We were all talking about that earlier, about how, like, in real life, the appeal to cannibalism is more the idea that you get to do something others don't get to.
Yeah.
It's like the exclusive, the taboo of it makes it so exciting. So that's happening here where people, you know, this extreme thing that is legally allowed and completely normalized, and people are still pushing it past
further
what is actually allowed.
Yes.
You know, you know what it was, what it missed is, if I was going to be even more disturbed, is there would have been a little bit more emphasis on the political system of this, and them marginalizing a specific type of person to eat.
Well, I mean, they kind of mentioned that it was poor people, didn't they?
Yeah, but I don't mean
At
poor.
first, sure.
They say that it
I
started
mean, like, they want immigrants or something, you know, to add that layer of, like, oh, this is even...
Well, don't they? It says in the beginning that when they first started doing it, the first generation were poor immigrants.
Well, okay.
Like they started.
I'm saying,
there,
like, why they should have just been like, we're just eating black people or something,
right?
Like something that.
And I mean,
like, draw that clear line is what I'm saying, and that would have been more like, oh. And then maybe it starts off with that specific, like, here's what was going on in this place, and then now it's we send our convicts to the slaughterhouse, we send these there, and then it becomes more normalized that it's more and more people as opposed to who it just started with. I think that would have been punchier. I think I would have reacted more to it, and it felt like this wasn't just a fantasy. This was like it started off with, like, they think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah. It could have been included more, but they definitely do. It does mention that, like, when they first started the system, they took convicts, the poor, and immigrants, and started breeding them to create this source of food.
Maybe I missed the line or two of that.
It's
I feel
literally
like
just a couple sentences where they talk about it. Yeah.
But, I mean, so...
And then the fact that when you commit a serious crime, they send you to the slaughterhouse.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. It could have been focused on more.
So prisons don't exist in this world.
I feel like it wasn't really clear about, like, which crimes would get you eaten. Like, was it just crimes relating to,
like, stealing bread? They just eat one hand,
or is it like, what do you? I don't know. They could have. I agree. It should have gone more into, like, the systemic.
If you were, I mean, again, for what it is, it's fine. But that would have made it go up in the literature arena.
Yeah.
I really think what you said a minute ago about kind of, like, the struggle towards the beginning of whether or not this was the right route to take for humanity. I think that would have added a really good layer of complexity to the story, because I don't feel like the main character is struggling with that. I don't feel like he is struggling with that at all. Like, I think it grosses him out to an extent, but I don't think he cares about whether it's right or wrong.
It's also just like
Right.
he works
I don't
with
feel
it.
like it's a struggle with him. Exactly. He's just like, I'm just adapting to make.
So you work with something, it desensitizes you.
Exactly.
Is what it kind of is.
He's
It's not
already
like-
desensitized
He just
to the
doesn't
act.
want to think about work when he's not there.
He's already desensitized to the act of murder. It's just
Yeah.
Taking it that step
Which is
further.
fine, but you also don't see any other characters that express any kind of objection to it. Like, every character he meets is more okay with it than he is. And you would think that you would see some kind of, and maybe they mention it
activist
briefly,
of
but
some
like an
sort,
activism
like-
group, something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's lacking in that stuff.
Nobody's fighting it. Like, everyone's okay with it. And if you're thinking
And
it
especially
happened
for
in
being so
his
early on.
lifetime.
And there's no like
it's just-
eco-terrorists out there that
20
would be reacting to
years?
this, or like a rival country that's like.
I mean, me personally, I'd be burning everything down. Like, I'm not going to eat
I
people.
thought you hated people.
But I don't want to eat them.
Well, and like, I think, was it a businessman from Japan or
Ogami or
Yeah.
something? Yeah.
Yeah.
not him? There was someone else from a different country that didn't allow it, that came to the dinner, and even they were more fascinated than
Against.
yeah.
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 They weren't saying anything about it. They were just like, wow, this is
Curious.
what happens here.
But that's a rich people problem, I feel like. I
Sure,
feel like rich
yeah.
people like, they're so desensitized. They're just like, wow, you guys are weird over here.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen other countries reacting, other philosophical things happening. Like, why don't we hear? Like, it would have been cool to have them, walk by a TV set that's on and hear like the president or a press secretary talking about something, even if it's just like a couple lines,
Just a snippet.
just to
Yeah.
make it punchier. Because
yeah.
you
Just
can't make
something-
you can't make something that's feels like it's trying to have a statement, and then there's like.
And it's so bubbled.
No pushback.
It's
Yeah.
it's so bubbled. It's
Yeah.
just, it's very
Yeah.
much about Marcos. I don't, you know what I mean? It's not,
Yeah.
to me, about society as much.
See, I'll keep defending it, and I'll say that like this was his story, and maybe we didn't need to tell society's story. But you're still right.
And
There
you know
could have
what?
been some pushback.
And you know what, Miguel? I agree with that. It is his story. And I think as his story, I think it's very well told.
Yeah, for it all happening in his lifetime, there's no way it was this smooth. That it just happened. It
No
was
way.
just decided, and everybody just made it life in.
But that's what it's
20
leading
to
you to
30
believe
years.
that. I think
Yeah.
that's her commentary is that this is how
happened
shitty
so
people are.
Fast, yeah. Now it would have taken longer.
So there's
It would take a good 100 years to get everybody to shut up about it.
Yeah, a couple of
There-
generations at least.
There's a review on Reddit that I really liked what it said.
Reddit's a scary place sometimes.
It is a scary place. It says, I think Tender as the Flesh isn't aiming for realism so much as an allegoric extremity. The cruelty is absurd because it's meant to be. It's a grotesque mirror of the dehumanization and commodification of humans. The cooler scene, for example, isn't literal commentary on animal farming methods, but an escalation of how numb a society can become when empathy is systematically stripped away and atrocity is normalized. And I really think that's like kind of the best description of the book that I have seen.
They spoke
about
my
it.
thoughts better than I did, for sure. Yeah.
That's how I felt when I read that as well.
What I meant is, yeah.
Is
For the next book that we read, we should find something with a really funny 1-star review, and then like compare it to a 5-star review that book gets,
yes,
and be
Yeah.
like, okay, where do we land in the
Who
middle
do
of
we
this?
agree with?
Where are we
Absolutely.
on this?
Sure.
that's a great
Yeah.
idea. I love that
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. This has been fun.
Yeah, did you have a good time?
I had a good time.
We can discuss what we're gonna do next. Not right here. We'll do it. We'll do it once we stop taping, because I think this is going to be a long episode. I'm looking around like, oh no, we've been here.
We've been here for
turned
like,
off.
we've been here for a while.
To be fair, half an hour of it was abortion and
yeah, you could cut
things
all of that shit out in the
probably
middle,
don't
honestly.
need to be in it.
I mean, you guys tell me what's okay and what isn't. But on that note,
it's not about what I think is like okay to be said. It's more about like what I think actually pertains to the book versus what's
the point of
just
the book
us
is to have a conversation.
rambling about
It's
our
not rambling.
philosophies.
I didn't say anything worse now than I did on Twitter in 2008, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, me too. I've said worse in person.
Oh, geez. Yeah, but at least it's not recorded on the internet. In person is fine. They can't find it and cancel you for that.
I've never said a single offensive thing in my life.
Right.
Yeah, you're a saint. Absolutely.
All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna talk about what we're doing next. The camera might not even be on anymore.
That's nice. That's good.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe. Let us know if you guys liked our new addition to the crew. And we're definitely gonna get Michaela back, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Kathy, you're a nice lady.
And she's a twin.
Unless you're the evil twin.
She's definitely the evil twin.